Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. This first story has our writing team laughing. After all the attention of Meghan and Prince Harry getting a victory for a change, all of a sudden Kate Middleton is out shopping. What an amazing coincidence. Nice try, Princess, but we aren't falling for the Kate bait. We're here to talk about the Vanity Fair's cover article on Harry and Meghan, with the focus shifting to Harry, as writer Anna Peele shares. At an event in 2023, someone privately asked Harry if he'd heard from his family. He said he hadn't. This person asked Harry if he thought he was going to, and he said he hoped so. That's sort of what made me so sad, the source says. His hope seemed very genuine, and I was just kind of like, oh no. The source believed Harry hadn't absorbed the gravity of what it would mean to sell millions of copies of a tell-all book about a famously insular and circumspect family in the middle of a years-long public relations crisis. The power of the written word and the power of the narrative, this person went on. I don't know if that's something he understood while he was doing it. By one telling, the person who interacted professionally with Meghan says he's socially marooned beyond his nuclear family. She was upfront about the fact that Harry hadn't made many friends yet. The source says of Meghan's assessment of her husband, the person who worked in media projects with the couple also has a guess. I think Harry doesn't know what he wants because he grew up in a fishbowl, and so he doesn't know what real life really is. They say, I think he probably wants to be left alone and be able to go kiss babies every once in a while, but not have to worry about money. I don't think he wants to be famous the way Meghan wants to be famous. And what kind of couple are Harry and Meghan? Vanity Fair quotes a person who worked closely with them. They are so hot for each other. Like, you meet those couples where you're like, the way they're looking at each other, I should probably not be here right now. We're also told when Harry is solo, the person inside the couple's circle says he's very personable. He's very at ease with people, quite like Diana. He just has this way of making people feel very comfortable. When he's in public with Meghan, there is a circus, the source says. He's so protective of her because people are so nasty to her. It's a whole different experience. A friend of the Sussexes told the Daily Beast, the Vanity Fair divorce story seemed very unfair. There was a book, but there wasn't a book. She was planning for life after divorce, but they are totally in love. What? There was not a shred of evidence. We'll continue to poke away at this very meaty article as the week progresses. This Sunday's Palace Weekly will feature a roundtable discussion of the article. Palace Weekly is our new show and an additional episode available to all followers and comes out Sunday morning at 9 a.m. East. Despite the divorce angle being largely dismissed, some royal watchers suggest the Sussexes couldn't divorce even if they wanted to. A source said to have worked closely with the couple told Page 6, Meghan and Harry know that they are tied together. Their value is in being a couple. Even if they wanted to split, they couldn't. And honestly, they are obsessed with each other. They are just two narcissists. Another source says Harry and Meghan are worth more together. It doesn't benefit them to be apart. They have all their deals together. I think the Random House deal is much like the Netflix deal. Netflix just said yes to everything because they wanted to get the docuseries. So they said, okay, we'll take the Polo show and let's see what happens with Meghan's lifestyle show. Prince Harry's Invictus Games has reportedly encountered a setback after a decision to replace rifles with laser guns in the biathlon sparked criticism. The 2025 Games, scheduled to take place at Whistler Ski Resort in Canada, have seen participants raise concerns about the functionality of the lasers in snowy conditions. Daily Mail diary editor Richard Eden claimed in his Eden Confidential column that the woke decision to use laser guns for inclusivity has not gone as planned. According to U.S. Army veteran Christopher Bride, cold weather and snow have caused issues with the equipment. We have had a couple of issues with the cold and some of the laser guns just not working, he said. Also, snow seemed to obstruct some of the targets. Bride added that during one lap, he only hit one target due to snow blocking the laser lens, despite shooting perfectly in prior laps. A spokesperson for the Invictus Foundation explained the rationale behind the change. The principal reason for the lasers is inclusivity. They can be used by a wide range of those with disabilities. Addressing the snow-related challenges, they assured that wouldn't be the case, as there would be officials on site ensuring readiness for the rifles. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle visited Whistler last February to prepare for the upcoming Games, underscoring their involvement in the event's planning. However, this equipment issue adds to the challenges faced in organising the competition in a snowy setting. In The Guardian, columnist Jane Martinson answers the question, so why has Harry settled? There is said to be an 8-figure sum from News Group to consider. He will be pleased with that, but he also may be disappointed that the settlement cuts his challenge short. He had cited the need for accountability. I am the last person that can actually achieve that, and also closure for these 1,300 people and families, he told a public event in New York. The cliff edge element of these cases may also have been a factor. If the amount agreed by the judge is even a penny lower than the settlement offered, the complainant has to pay the legal costs for both sides. Still, Harry may feel he has achieved his objective of making a much wider point, describing journalism as a spectrum, with the Nobel Prize winner Maria Ressa and war correspondents at one end and tabloid journalists who hacked his phone at the other. Harry told the same event in New York last month that he would be damned if those journalists hounding him were going to ruin journalism for everyone else because we depend upon it so much. Harry is a divisive figure, loathed and ridiculed by much of the media, not least for his pursuing this case, and consequently he is a man who also divides public opinion. But in this wider point, surely he is right. The language from Harry's camp today is unequivocal. Today the lies are laid bare. Today the cover-ups are exposed. And today proves that no one stands above the law. The time for accountability has arrived. So there is a victor and a vanquished here, but still, unquestionably, we have all lost. Let's keep an eye on this next story, which is either a glitch or a hint at the biggest story of the year. On Wednesday, eagle-eyed fans noticed that the word hospice appeared as a prominent heading on the royal family's official website's main page, a curious detail that was soon corrected. Fan blog Gertz Royal first flagged the issue on social media platform X, quipping, "Oops, for some bizarre reason, the header on @RoyalFamily website now says hospice. Why?" A screenshot of the surprise typo accompanied the post. Within 2 hours, the puzzling header had been removed, and by Thursday, the website was fully back to normal, showcasing the expected content such as royal biographies, engagement logs, and the court circular. The error might have been linked to a recent engagement by Queen Camilla. On January 21st, the Queen visited Prospect Hospice in Wiltshire to help mark the charity's 45th anniversary in her role as president. It's possible that the site's frequent updates to reflect the royals' activities contributed to the formatting slip-up. Or we have the biggest story of the year coming. Hopefully, it was just a slip-up. Charles is reportedly appalled by Prince Andrew's latest strategy to hold onto Royal Lodge, the sprawling Windsor estate where he resides with ex-wife Sarah Ferguson. The Duke of York, who has already survived efforts to cut his security and reduce his royal perks, is allegedly now relying on the Queen's beloved corgis, Newark and Sandy, as part of his defence. The Duke and Duchess of York inherited the corgis after the Queen's death in 2022, and Andrew is said to believe their presence could sway Charles against any future attempts to evict him. A source claimed he's banking on the canines to shield him from moving. The Queen would be rolling in her grave over this. It shows just how bad things are between them that Andrew feels his brother values those two dogs more than him, and enough to make sure he's properly taken care of. The insider also noted the emotional leverage of the dogs might not sit well with the king, calling Andrew's approach a low blow. Newark and Sandy were originally gifted to the Queen during the COVID pandemic and have since been a regular feature in Sarah Ferguson's social media posts. In a candid interview reflecting on parallels between caring for her late father and supporting her ex-husband, Sarah Ferguson told the Sunday Times about looking after her father, Major Ronald Ferguson, during his battle with prostate cancer in 1996. She described the experience as looking after a sad man, drawing a comparison to her current situation. "I was left to look after a sad man, which is sort of what I'm doing now," she said, a remark widely interpreted as referring to Prince Andrew. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and leave us a review or 5 stars if you're enjoying the show. And don't forget, you can get this show along with hundreds of others from Calaroga Shark Media, commercial-free, including shows like Romance Weekly, just in time for Valentine's Day. It's hundreds of episodes of short love stories and some erotic thrillers in there. Check it out, Romance Weekly, wherever you get your podcasts, like this one. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.